I love this, Tyler. Let me grab both those pens. So building off of this, I encourage you to look at the early verses here, 15, 16, 17, 18. Actually look throughout these verses for the word blessed or blessed or bless. And it turns out, if you go back to Matthew chapter 5, we have what are called the Beatitudes. Jesus, as the new Moses, has gotten onto a mountain to deliver the higher law that defines for us the covenant path of living. And he gives people a whole series of blessings. And in Latin, the word beatus actually means to be blessed. And so in some ways we have Beatitudes here. And so you can circle all the ways, all the times you see the word bless or blessed, and you see all the power inherent in God's love of what he wants to offer those who take his name upon them. And that's the other word I want you to look at. As you look through these verses, look at the use of the word name. It's very interesting. Verse 18, blessed is this people who are willing to bear my name, for in my name shall they be called, and they are mine. So this ties right back into the baptismal covenant that Alma delivered to the people at the waters of Mormon. And there's actually a lot of power in naming. It turns out, if we return back to the Old Testament, to Genesis, when Adam was created, God asked Adam to name everything in creation. And I use this as an example because naming is power and responsibility. When you have a name, you have power and responsibility and authority. And it's interesting that what God truly wants is to put his name on us. He wants to be responsible for us. He wants to have power for us and authority on our behalf. Now, of course, he already has all those things, but we can only fully and truly access it if we're willing to allow him to name us. And I want you to think about, in our world today, think about how the naming that happens, the branding, the marketing. I happen to be wearing some shoes that are brand name. And so I'm actually representing some company right now. I'm not going to put those shoes on camera because they actually aren't paying me to do this. But the real name that I should try to be bearing is the name of Jesus Christ. But our world today tries to insert themselves in the work of God and name us with their brand, with their stories, with their purposes. Now, I'm not saying that it's actually a bad thing that businesses are out there doing their work, but ultimately we want to think about the person who ultimately defines who we are and gives us power and authority is Jesus. And as we join with him in his church, we get his name. And as we move on to the next life and we are admitted into his presence, it's because we are like him and we have his name.